What's going on, guys? We are back with DFH Locker Room number 3. This time with 3 people. We got Jamesbot as always.
Hello, how's it going?
And special guest, Kronovi.
Who's that?
That's you, man.
Cam Gears, that guy. I don't know.
The Cam fam? Everyone knows who that is. Come on.
Who knows? Who knows? So, we're only going downhill from here since we got Crow as our first guest. But, we're dreaming big here. We're dreaming big. Well, like if we get Durkin, maybe that'll be better, but that's about it. He's just super dreamy. So
I know. I won't even be able to ask him questions. I'll be staring at his Skype video feed.
Exactly. So let's go right into it. We got a lot of news to cover this week. A lot of it broke today. First one that broke literally a half hour ago. Sadjunior leaving Genesis, going to Kings of Urban for Moses. What?
Yeah, I mean, Moses isn't even sub. Waffle's the sub. Moses got straight kicked.
Now, what I'm confused about, so if this news happened before RLCS signups, it's like, whatever. It's roster Armageddon. We're still good. But it's after RLCS signups. Is there some type of loophole that they know about that we don't, where they can change their roster? Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, they specifically called out for RLCS. So, yeah, they've got to have a plan. Otherwise, unless they just think that posting that, they'll just get some kind of special treatment. Who knows? Because they are right now. I mean, if you got the power rankings just came out minutes ago, and this was based on the current roster, and KOU was number 1. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, just kind of saying, hey, we've got a new squad for RLCS. We're going to make our own rules on what's possible. But
that's what I'm worried about most. It's like, so I love Sad, obviously. Like, he's me and Crow's ex-teammate. But, they should not make an exception to the rule just because it's Sad. Because then you have to make an exception for everyone. Because everyone's going to be like, well, this is bullshit. The pros are getting special treatment. Why can't my team, add one more sub because we didn't know that someone couldn't play some weekend? So, hopefully they come out soon and say publicly, hey, everyone can swap around rosters a bit in this next week. Or they just don't allow it. It just seems really weird that SAD would announce this and KOU and burn bridges, basically, with Moses and with the other Genesis members when who knows if they can play in the RLCS? I assume they know that they can do this, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. But
well, my question comes down to what happens to Genesis now? They lose SAD. I feel like SAD and Pluto were kind of like a dynamic duo. Does Moses join Quinn and Pluto? I don't see that playstyle fitting in very well.
Well, so go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Well, I just can't imagine that there's any other teams that were even thinking that roster changes were possible right now. So this is kind of going to be blindsiding a lot of teams. And honestly, Genesis seems like the de facto because they're going to have a huge gap in their roster. And now Moses is just available. And honestly, he's better than any other kind of free agent that you could get, in my opinion. Yeah, so it seems kind of like a no-brainer. And just looking at the power rankings, too, Genesis came in at number 6 this week. And they have Covenel listed as a sub. So I don't know if that count, if Covenel also signed up on the RLCS. But
I believe he did.
Okay, so they do have at least that. But I agree with the Kronovi. Moses, Genesis seems like a fit.
I would assume, so Crow was saying, the playstyles might not fit, but it's at this point, Moses has to go to Genesis, because where else is he going? There's nowhere else to go. Plus, Genesis obviously has that hole. Plus, Genesis is a really good team, and maybe they can try and make it work for at least Qualifier 1. Then when Qualifier 2 happens, teams that don't make group stages might make a lot of moves to try and get into there. But for Qualifier 1, it seems like Moses is kind of just I have to go to Genesis, if I want to play. Unless some other team tries to pick them up. But I see most of the other teams pretty solid now. But who knows? Because it's roster Armageddon and anyone could switch at any moment.
Well, I know for Qualifier 2, you're allowed to use a different team.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're allowed to use the same team and change the roster.
You can.
For Qualifier 2? Is this a long-term thing that KOU was thinking of?
So Qualifier 1, if you get points, then you can change 60% of your roster. And if you don't get points, then you can switch whatever you want, because you can just make a new team, technically.
I think you have to keep 60% of your active roster, is what it said.
So but you could get a new team name instead. If you have 0 points, what does it matter if your team name changes? Yeah, so that rule only really applies to people that go into groups. So just seems weird.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I
this
thought
is
maybe
weird.
they might try running Jacob, Fireburner, and Waffle the substitute in round 1, and then round 2 they bring in Sad, and I don't know.
So that's very doable because like Waffles is a great player. But why would Sad make this move now when he would have two chances basically? Because if he say KOU somehow falters and Genesis does really well, like if they come in second, which is very feasible in NA because NA is kind of a shit show right now, that he would automatically be in group stage again for Genesis, and that would probably mean that you're going to the LAN. So why not split your eggs between two baskets and wait till qualifier 2 to make this announcement? Unless they can play in qualifier 1 somehow that they know and we don't. That's all.
Yeah. The NA shuffle is just too damn strong. It's still going on.
We thought it was over. We thought there was a deadline, and no, there isn't. There's never a deadline.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. I just wonder what's gonna happen because, like you were saying, with the team should not be allowed to break any rules. So I think we're just gonna have to wait and see what the fallout is of this. It doesn't feel good.
It could have implications. It could mean that two teams essentially might have kicked themselves out of NA. You know, if they're wrong,
or they'll just have to play with like their subs as their starting roster. So
and plus, what I'm hearing is Moses didn't even know about this, and Genesis didn't know about it. So it's kind of weird. Like, at least let your guys know. So if you're planning on doing something like this, they can try and remedy their situation too. That's like, especially since it's after the deadline and there's gonna be weird rules associated with it. Like, that just seems kind of like a dick move. But you know, it happens.
It's tough because we don't really know kind of what was going on behind the scenes. Like, there's two sides to every story, and really,
of course.
as soon as like, I mean, nothing really can stay a secret for too long once it gets out to the player. So if KOU, I hope that they did at least sit him down right before the announcement and be like, hey, we're going to go a different route. This isn't working. We haven't been playing well. What do you like? Just have that kind of exit interview type moment. Yeah. But if it's like just a Steam message that, hey, we're going to announce that we're dropping you like in 2 minutes. Yeah. Like it definitely matters how they handled it. But this honestly could be a really exciting storyline if Moses does go over to Genesis, because that team has enough talent to make it to a point where they could face off against a Kings of Urban.
That'd be insane.
Potentially,
that would
depending
be
on
an insane story from Moses. Get kicked off a team and then join Genesis and knock them out of RLCS. Right. That would be huge.
That'd be crazy.
And you've got to. I'm curious, like, because this literally just happened an hour before this is going live. So I wonder how this affects the perception of Kings of Urban as a team in the community based off how this went down. If this is like a LeBron James, I'm going to Miami Beach type situation for Kings of Urban, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, like I see like Genesis now being like a super fan favorite going in if they do pick up Moses. Like, oh, they kind of got screwed in this deal, but like people are going to be rooting for them to like try and battle back and make it. And like, like I'm friends with all these guys, and it just seems like a little bit of an off-putting move. And they probably have their reasons, but from what we know as of now, it just seems a little off-putting.
Still number one in NA. It's like, you've got to be able to lose a couple times.
Well, that's why Kings made the move, though. They were like, they barely got number one this week, and there was literally probably 4 teams that could have been number one. It was like super close in the power rankings. And that doesn't even include Cosmic, because Cosmic just hasn't played yet. So we're not even including them in this conversation. But they've been losing to a bunch of teams, and maybe they were starting to be like, maybe we don't make it to groups if we keep playing this way.
Themselves,
so maybe we need to make this move. Go. But
there's been quite a few best of threes that they've had to go through, which is what the RLCS is going to be like with the Pulsar Premier League stuff, and then mock it. Like, you've got these 3-game series, and Kings of Urban did lose them. They lost multiple, so that definitely probably is shaking them up. And maybe it contributed a little bit to this result. And honestly, I don't want to spend too much time harping on it, but I also wonder how long this has been in the works, because Sad has just like, he is kind of a wild card, like it's hard to really tell what he's serious
he's
about.
The ultimate troll. Yeah.
Yes. So like, he had a Kings of Urban logo a while back. So I wonder how long this back channeling potentially has been going on between these guys. Like, have they been playing together? When did they first seriously consider that they might want this to happen? So,
all All right, so on that's enough sad talk. We all love them, but we got to talk about other things. So there was other news with the tournament scene, which I think we talked about a bit about Rocket Royale coming back, which the poster in game or the billboard is freaking awesome.
Oh,
that's freaking
it's so hard
great.
to miss it.
Yeah, it's so great. That orange really pops. It's just like right in your face.
That was freaking awesome, and I want to give a shout out to Vice Gold, also known as Lords. He's the guy who designs all our stuff, and he was the one who designed that logo. So he's probably super happy that his logo's in there. But dude, the fact that they put this community group's logo on a giant ass billboard in like Utopia and DFH was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So Psyonix is the best. I love them.
Yeah, so that should be coming back soon. We don't know exact dates yet, but I expect it to be coming back pretty soon, guys. So get ready for some more Rocket Royale action. I've been talking to them about the formats, and they're looking pretty promising. So I hope so. Get excited, guys. It'll be fun. Then we also had ESLs. Now are going to be $150 weekly. Still only first getting money, and then $500 monthlies. And I think also for that it's only first getting money. Which seems odd. Like, sure, like 150 for first place is fine for the weeklies, but I would think monthly at least. You might split that up at least first, second. But
well, they don't do third place matches. I don't think. I think they just didn't want to add it into their system.
Well, they could just do first, second, but like 350, 150, something.
Yeah,
like
150 is essentially a doubling of their prize pool for people who don't follow ESL. It was $75 before, so they doubled it to 150, and now with $500 up for a monthly, it kind of makes it like a lot more worth it.
Than $500 and a title. So many people are going to do the weeklies because the weeklies give you more, and then if you can get to the monthly, there's like big rewards for the monthly now.
Yeah.
Yep. So for people who are newer, like essentially just exactly what Kronovi said, you get points. The higher you place in the weekly tournament, so there's one every weekend. If you get points based on how well you finish. So if you have enough points to be a top 8 team, you get to move into the monthly finals. So there's a monthly final every month, and it's only 8 teams. If you finish top 4, you get a title. And now with the $500 prize pool, like we're going to be seeing, we'll see the legendary NA squad of iBuyPower probably start to play an ESL, which is something like teams have started to not kind of do as much because ESL takes a lot of time, but this is a good move for them, and we're probably going to see a lot more high-level teams competing again.
Now, one thing to consider, though, is during RLCS, the top 8 are probably not going to play that month pretty much at all. They might get 1 week in, like in the finals if they're not top 4. But like those months are like up for grabs for teams because if the top 8 is in group stage for 2 weeks, that means you guys have a good chance to play those weeks in ESL and get your monthly points set up, and then those teams probably won't be in the monthly. So if you're the 9th best team, you might come away with a monthly champion title and $500. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Also, just to help you out, Gibbs, I know last show you were like shooting yourself for not putting in timestamps, and I don't see any on here.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to bring it up.
Thank you. Okay, let's say, all right, that's good. I like it. Thank
administration. That's what we do here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, but yeah, no, those are up for grabs. So if your team is like a borderline top 20 team and you have a hope and aspiration of getting a title, this is your window. So you guys better play ESL.
And then also Gfinity now, they're changing their whole system up. They're going throughout the week to try and avoid RLCS, I bet. So they're actually going to have 4 tournaments throughout the week, 2 on PC and PS4, and 2 on Xbox. So Xbox gets tournaments on Monday and Thursday, which Monday, first place gets €60, and then on Thursday, I think it's first and second, like €100 and €50. And then as well on Tuesday and Friday, you have the PC, PS4 tournaments. Again, on Tuesday, €60. And then on Friday, it's €250. I'm not sure the exact split. Probably $200 for first and $50 for second, because that's usually how they do it. So that's some pretty big money going around as well for the Europe scene.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Gfinity, I think before it was like it was €100. So now they're making a big move, and especially moving to the week multiple tournaments. And now I think that's the first Xbox EU tournament, because I remember after we posted our tournament stuff, which we'll talk about later, somebody was like, so is there any EU Xbox tournaments? And I was like, nope, sorry, but now there is. So awesome to see Gfinity raising the bar.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to compete with Mocket too, because Mocket's they've been putting up some EU tournaments here or there, and those have all been during the week, except for the 3v3. So there's just a bunch of stuff happening during the week now, and then RLCS on the weekends. Things can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, jam-packed. And we still haven't talked about Rocket Royale, which we don't know yet where that's going to fall. But you would think if it's a Psyonix partnered thing, probably during the week, usually when RLCS is happening. So that's another event to compete with. The one good thing about Gfinity, though, is the Europe tournaments usually are starting midday for us, around noon or 1. I'm not sure the exact times for these. And Mocket doesn't start till like 5 or 6. I think it's like 6 Eastern. So you might be able to do Gfin and Mocket, but who knows about Rocket Royale? What times those start?
Yeah. But the good news is either this means more competition, which means bigger prize pools for players, which means more exciting games to watch. And, you know, it's awesome to see for the scene. Although, like, as part of RLC, you know, I hate seeing conflicts, but at the same time, I think this competition is really great for the scene for Rocket League, especially for attracting more organizations. And so I'm really happy to see Gfinity step up, and it's going to be this next month for Rocket League is going to be insane.
Yeah, there's going to be so many tournaments. And then that also means some more amateur teams might get shots in some of these if some teams are participating in Rocket Royale over Gfinity and stuff like that. So keep a lookout, guys. If you're not top 10, but you're getting close, like you might have some prize money coming your way soon, because there's going to be so much competition that teams have to go certain places, and you might fall into that spot where it's like, I'm the best team in this tournament now. So make sure you guys sign up and support them all, because, you know, more money in the scene is great for everyone. So we want to keep it around, that's for sure.
I agree.
Totes. All right. Next piece of news. We got the physical release news came out this week. And that's going to release sometime in July. I'm not sure the exact date. They might have it up, but I didn't catch it. But the big news with it is there's 4 exclusive cars, and they did come back, Psyonix, and said that they're going to be timed exclusive. That's 4 brand new cars in the game, so that's pretty exciting news. We don't know what the cars are yet.
Aftershock, please.
Oh my God! They're going to make us buy the retail game. Like, I was going to buy it anyway because I want it, but
for Aftershock.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Yeah, like if no Aftershock, then we're not buying your game, Psyonix. So make sure it's in there.
Also, on a side note, I think it was Jeremy, actually. It was either Jeremy or Corey. I'm pretty sure it was Jeremy that came into the subreddit and posted like, hey, don't worry. All these cards that we're coming out with for the physical release, you will be able to get them on your various platforms. We don't believe in holding those separate from people.
They did say it would be a timed exclusive, though. They said they have to hold them for a little while.
It will be, yeah, exactly that. So they will have it for a little bit ahead of us, but everyone will be able to get them eventually.
Yeah, so. And that's all 4 cars. There won't be any tied to the retail product at all.
I just hope the timer doesn't last like more than a month. That would suck.
Yeah, for sure. And plus, like, if you're playing on retail, will those cars just come into your account, or will I have like a separate account on the retail version? I feel like you'd have a
separate account.
Probably, right? So that would be a little weird. But you would use the same PSN name, or, well, I guess it would have to be PSN or Xbox, because there's going to be no PC retail, so you would have to play on PS4 or Xbox for these cars. Now I'm thinking about, I'm not going to be playing a lot with these cars, because no one wants to play on consoles right now.
Well,
but I'll definitely check them out.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'll buy it just because, you know, why not support Psyonix? And
I'm going to put it in somebody's stocking. Somebody in my family is going to get a Rocket League card copy.
There you go. And we got other news. Some glitches came out today. So, all right, hold on. I want to put my timestamp. But we had a jump-in exploit get announced today by people. Like,
jump over the crossbar.
Yeah, like it's been around. I guess some people knew about it, but now it's more public. So I think the main gist of it is if you hit the jump button at the same time on 2 different inputs, then you jump like super freaking high. I think that's generally a thing, and most people can use it as scripts to get it to work properly all the time. But obviously, this needs to be fixed.
Hopefully, yeah. Psyonix responded on the Reddit thread saying they know about it and it's getting fixed.
Nice. Okay.
So it'll probably be in the patch notes for the hoops thing that's coming out. They know about it. It's going to get fixed.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's a easy enough fix that they can get it into that hoops patch, because That might be insert already, so that's the only problem, because we don't know.
Right.
So hopefully they can squeeze that in before they have to throw it to cert, because Hoops is supposed to come out soon-ish. So I'm not sure like if that was planned next week or not.
I'm doing it right now in training. It works. But honestly, like I was watching the videos and stuff, and there are very few instances where it could help, but like if you're sitting in net and you have no boost and you're using that script as an exploit, it could potentially give you an advantage over other players who don't use it. But I don't know. I never noticed any fishy behavior playing.
Yeah,
people.
I haven't noticed, but like a super high ball, then you can use that to get up in the air a lot quicker and start your aerial and be able to beat people that you shouldn't be able to beat to the ball, and that could.
Yeah,
like,
I think it has more
goals.
practical uses on offense rather than defense, really.
Yeah.
The videos that I was seeing though, it's like it didn't seem like it made you jump faster. It just seemed like you floated higher. So I don't. If it did help you get up a little bit better, because it's pretty common when you're going for challenges. You like the double pop aerial is like something that every pro knows how to do, and if that can aid in being able to do an even faster double pop, then I would certainly have issue with that. But because it just broke today, I didn't really know like how much the speed effect was affected or just the height.
Yeah, it seems like it would be faster, like you would get up a little quicker. But again, yeah, like we haven't tested it. Crow, have you tried to test it yet or no?
I haven't tested it, no.
Okay, all right. So more news on that as it comes. Hopefully it gets patched out real quick. I assume Sonics is on the case, and hopefully it's in next patch, which would be perfect because we want it before RLCS because we don't want any of the like fishy business.
Well, yeah, especially with an online qualifier, it's so hard to enforce and police people. Like, no one's going to show up to a LAN with a script and do that and get away with it.
Yeah. And like you might be able to save replays and be like, he jumped pretty high here, but sometimes it might be hard to tell.
Or it might just not be worth it,
Yeah, exactly.
Flashbacks to game battles where people dispute scores because you straight up beat them 10-0.
Yeah, or Photoshop results.
Well, the RLCS, I would say it's worth it because it's for 75K. So that one you might want to fight a little harder compared to like game battles.
It would just delay the tournament.
Exactly. Just like you need so much admin work for it. So that's why we want to patch beforehand so we don't have to worry about it. And on the RLCS news, we got the official dates of the weekends, basically, of when they're happening. We kind of knew these already just because the guys going to PAX, like all three of us are going to PAX, they told us, don't worry about PAX, it's not going to start before PAX, so we figured it would be starting the following weekend. But now it's official. It's starting April 30th, and then for the next 4 weekends, we have the Open Qualifier the first weekend, Group Stage for the next 2, and then the Finals for the third weekend.
Yeah, were you guys surprised at all by the schedule?
The only thing I was worried about, or was hoping, was maybe they would make the Open Qualifier 2 weekends now, since there's so many teams, because it's gonna be a really long day for like everyone participating. Because they did say, I think, that North America is on one of those days and Europe is on the other.
Yes,
for the
April 30th for NA, May 1st for EU.
Yeah, for the open stage. And like I said last week, like if they split the winners bracket in half and did that the first weekend, and then split the losers bracket in half and did it the second weekend on Saturday and Sunday, that probably would have been more manageable. But they probably only want to broadcast once. Like they don't want to go live twice for the stream. So they want to be like, all right, here's the best NA matches. We're broadcasting 10 hours after it starts, so we actually get good matches. And same with Europe on the other side. But yeah, it's going to be a long day.
We're going to need every admin available in the Rocket League community for this because like just rounds between ESL and MLG and stuff, if you have people who are disputing, it can take like 45 minutes to get things sorted out. So because you have to deal with getting an admin's attention in the first place, which can take a long time, and then just sorting through that whole mess. So I'm a little bit nervous that everything's going down in one day. I think we'll have to wait and see, but this will be a fantastic learning experience since like this is probably going to be like the Guinness Book of World Records biggest video game tournament in history.
Well, that's the thing about brackets is, there's only a couple extra rounds added because you have to double the number of teams for each, round.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get insanely big, but it's double elimination, right?
Exactly.
So takes a while to get through that.
Yeah, like the big problem is though just those teams holding everything up because there's gonna be say it's split like even and there's 10,000 teams. That's 5,000 teams in North America. That's 2,500 matches in back-to-back rounds because you have first everyone's playing their first game. There'll be some buys, but for simple terms, we'll say 2,500 matches. Then with the losers bracket, you have a winners bracket round 2 and losers bracket round 1, which is another 2,500 matches. And if 10% of those matches have disputes, or 5%, that's still a lot of disputes, and that delays that entire side of the bracket, plus the losers bracket on that side as well, if it was in winners. So you might just have to wait around for a really long time between games. One thing I hope is the teams that make it to the quarterfinals, if you win that game, then you're in because you're top 4. If you lose that game, I could easily see you waiting 3 to 4 hours before you play your next and final game, which could be a problem because losers bracket might take a really long time if there's problems.
And then the coordination between lobby info and stuff, I don't know how they're planning that, but
yeah, the divide between PlayStation and PC. How does that communication work?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough. Hopefully, they have a plan for that because that is gonna be a huge challenge when you're dealing with the multi-platform and then getting lobby set up. Hopefully, they have something set up to email people that info, hey, I'm going to email this captain. You have to set up the room with this information, and it's all automated and stuff. I hope they have.
It better be automated.
I really hope that they're doing something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And so, Crow, how many 5-hour energies are you buying for that day? Because you're going to need a couple.
24-hour stream.
Enough for a 24-hour stream, yeah. I'll buy 5. 25 hours.
You should really name your stream, if you're streaming, just 24-hour stream while you're doing this one.
24-hour tournament stream.
Yeah. Jesus.
Sponsored by 24-hour energy.
I drank 5 24-hour energies.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, that's for sure. But people are gonna have to grind it out, and top 8 will somehow come out of that. Probably less men than they first went in, but we'll see. All right, on to the next thing. There was another kind of bug that happened. This one's not as big of a deal compared to the last one, but the Dualshock 3 faster diagonal rotation in the air. Mm-hmm. This was figured out, I'm not sure by who on Reddit, but someone on Reddit was like, hey, the DS3 acts a little differently when you put it through your PC. You can actually get your diagonal inputs to go further diagonally, which means you can rotate quicker diagonally. Now, this doesn't happen that often. It's still a minor advantage, and I think it should be patched, and Rocket League should add maximums to your rotation velocity. But it does help, but I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's pretty... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know if it could be patched out because it's related to the actual drivers on the controller. But I don't know if it's a huge deal because there's already a couple players that use the DualShock 3 that haven't had an insane advantage over all the other top players because of that. I haven't noticed that they're just killing everybody on the pitch because they have a DualShock 3. It's just something that they didn't even know existed and just got used to how it worked.
Yeah, but I think it's very minor and it will only happen 0.1% of the time. But it should just be an even playing field, so I could see them patching it out. It sucks for PS3 controllers, players, because they would probably feel a little wonky for a day or two, but I think they would probably get used to it. But it's only diagonal rotation, so that doesn't come into play that often. If it was turn-in radius, that's a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
But since it's diagonal rotation, it's not a huge deal. But one way they could patch it out, though, is if Rocket League was just hey, this is the maximum diagonal rotation that you can do. So even if the DualShock 3 goes further, then it just will stay at maximum.
Yeah, and I also got to wonder, too, if this opens up a door for some kind of manipulation with drivers. If you could spin faster based on a driver, are people going to mess with it? I hope not.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to start messing with drivers, and then it could become a much bigger problem. So it's better probably to patch it now and have maximums before someone does something like that, and you can't tell because they're turning slightly faster. And yeah,
and it makes your aerials look better. I mean, look, Hookster uses a DualShock 3. He can spin faster, so freestyles look cooler. But beside from cooler looking freestyles, this could come in handy if you're needing to redirect a ball that's coming your way and you need to get up and spin really quickly. Maybe you wouldn't get around in time to get a hit on it, but I don't feel too strongly about it. I'm not going to change to a DualShock 3 because I can spin slightly faster. I'm going to keep using my beautiful Xbox One controller my entire life.
Xbox Master Race.
No, PS4 right here. Come on.
Oh, no.
Let's
No.
go. Fight
Me and
me.
James both
Fight
with
me.
the Elite controllers. Paying good money for this. No. But, yeah, so it's not a huge issue, but, like, it would be nice if they patched it, I think, just to... So we don't have to worry about, in the future, people doing weird drivers. So
If I have to pick, though, between eliminating camera shake from the game and a fixed
Oh my
DualShock
God,
3
camera
versus
shake.
DualShock 4, then I will say kill camera shake first.
Yes, for sure.
Don't, yeah, but just gonna fit in killing that thing.
Every episode,
Yeah,
you have to say it until they fix it, because God damn it, Zach. That's the worst for spectators.
Yes.
All right, on to the last piece of news, which, like, so this one's weird. So Weed Wizard decided to use a ranking, like, not really like an exploit. He just had 4 accounts and kind of transferred all his points to 1 by playing on Oceanic when no one's playing, which doesn't really say rank is broken, which we'll get into, like, in a bit. It's just kind of saying, hey, I've, like, felt like cheating the system to make a point, when it's like, we already know about the ranked issues, and, like, we just had a giant Reddit thread, like, about Gambit, and a lot of that had to do with ranked issues with Crow. It's like, it's been said already. There's really no point of jumping to the top of the leaderboard and then...
Just to prove a point that people have already proved in the past.
Exactly. And plus his point, there was nothing to prove by just cheating to get up there. That's not really a ranked exploit. That's just like, hey, no one's playing on this server right now, so I'm going to queue and I'm going to match up against myself.
It's kind of just like simulating one account beating a bunch of the top players, getting points quickly because the account is beating top players.
Exactly. You know? It's like, so it is kind of saying ranking does work because...
Yeah. Certainly climbing works, not that...
Yeah,
it's strange.
I wasn't sure what his argument was, like, because clearly, like, if you play against yourself, that's just manipulating the system. There's nothing that, like, maybe they could do some kind of IP filtering that says if this person's playing against themselves from the same house, like, just don't allow it. But I think what he was trying to do is call greater attention, like what you guys were saying, like, to the whole just ranking at the top. Like, just it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it's rewarding or balanced or anything like that. So definitely not the most tasteful way to do it. And I don't think it's going to be like that. It's not going to push Psionics towards help. Like, that's not going to change their mind. Like,
Not the best way of going about it, but there's a way to go about it right here on this show. So I'm going to let you and Crow, James, talk about your ranked issues, because you guys have it more. Like, I don't play ranked as much as you guys do, so feel free to say your pieces.
I'll intro this, and then Crow, feel free to add this in. But we recently were just decided to play 2v2. You know, Crow's very high ranked. I am also top 100. We decided to play, and I don't play matchmaking very much because of the experience that we had, is the experience that I've also had in the past. Essentially, we're playing top teams. Like, for example, this is really what happened. We ended up going against Mizdik and Moses. Like, these people are top players in the whole world, and we ended up losing to them one game. We lost 12 points, which sucked. But then we beat them the very next game. Do you know guess how many points we got, Gibbs?
2.
3 points.
All right, even better.
So it's like that is
now James. Before you continue, do you know what their ranks were? That's the only question I have.
I think they were grand champion.
They were.
I can check right now
because in 2's grand champion is a big group. Like, because so many people playing 2, so they could have been super low on Grand Champion scale.
I am super low on Grand Champion in doubles.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Tied near the bottom.
Okay, like I thought James was saying that you were more near.
I'm
the
not
top.
in the top 10 or no.
Okay.
No.
Then that makes more sense.
Yeah, Moses
like,
is like. Oh yes, Moses. Hold on, let me see where he's at. I think he's higher ranked than us. Yeah, Mizdik is higher ranked, and I don't see Moses. But when you get up to Grand Champion level. Like, it doesn't matter really what point range you're in. Like, right now, we're in a situation of living in the past. Like, so much of how many points we get now was dictated about how well we did in the preseason, which it's like still has effects in today, awful. Which is not cool. Like, people who are in Grand Champion it's like not maybe 50-50, but there's a very high chance that you can lose. It's the 3 points versus 12 points. If we play them all the time, we will never gain points in that situation against players like Mystic and Moses, or really anybody in Grand Champion. Like,
you need an insane win rate to climb. It's like you need an 85% win rate against all the other Grand Champions if you want to go up a couple places.
Yeah. Now, for like your case, that just seemed messed up. Obviously, the 12 points versus 3. When we'll say you guys were even MMR, like average versus them, we'll say, as like argument's sake, that doesn't seem to make much sense. But the problem is, like, say like Crow, you're top in what, solo threes, I think, or close to
Yeah.
it. Like, obviously, at that point, you have to lose points because there's nowhere to go but down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're always going to be favored to win. So, like, there I can see why you might lose more points. But that brings in, like, a whole nother issue of, like, that's just not fun to play.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's
What's
no
the point of
to
playing once I get there? I have the fear to lose, and I
Yeah.
didn't even get to enjoy climbing up there this season. It just
Yeah, you
put
were
me
just
right
there.
back based on my preseason MMR. And said, oh, hey, you were number 1 last time. Let's just put you right back and give you no reason to play.
And like
Yeah.
the issue too, like a huge issue is like, I personally have stream, like I don't really have a big stream anyway, but like I don't stream a lot because people want to watch matchmaking, and I don't feel like playing matchmaking because I don't feel like I'm gaining anything, and it's frustrating. And I talked to Kyle Mask, who, you know, he'll get hundreds of people watching him. He doesn't stream because he is frustrated at matchmaking as well. And Kronovi, I don't know about you, but like I've heard it from several people that they play less matchmaking and even stream less because of the frustrations with the points in matchmaking.
I don't think I've streamed matchmaking this week. I did viewer games, tournament, and sub games this week. I haven't done any matchmaking on stream because it's just pointless to me. I don't enjoy it.
Now, like, you also get into, like, the endless loop of, so this pro player doesn't want to play matchmaking because it's not helping him, so he stops. That means there's less people playing in that list, so if a pro player does play, he's going to wind up playing only, like, champions while he's grand champion, so then he is going to lose a bunch more points, then he's going to stop playing, and it just continues over and over again until, like, everyone's losing points, and it sucks.
It's true, but the thing is we literally played Mystic and Moses.
Yeah, exactly,
It's still got 3 points, so it's like, it seems like, no, like unless you get against Gambit, you're not gonna get points. Like it's a tough situation, and I hope they address it, because really the skill differentials are not represented by how MMR is spread anymore. Like people can have incredibly high MMRs based on the preseason. Like when this first came out, like when it first came out, all you SARP bets were gods compared to us, and the MMR was super accurate. But now we've had a lot of time to catch up, and the distance between players is a lot less now. So hopefully they can rebalance the MMRs, like we can let it spread again, but it's just too wide right now. And I don't know if like we have a specific solution, but really I hope that the Psyonix team, like they have so much that they're working on and so much new stuff, but really I think like because this is a competitive game and so much hinges on like the esport competitive aspect, that even though we're a minority, like players at the top, even though we're a minority and our matchmaking like maybe not be representative of the experience of the whole base, it's still very important because we're a visible minority. And I hope that they like focus on it soon, because I think maybe potentially some small tweaks might make it good enough for us to enjoy playing again.
So, like, I think one small Band-Aid that they could do is just do a monthly reset and, like, cut everyone's points in half. And then have everyone race back up to Grand Champion. And at least then, that first week of every month, at least everyone's going to be, like, super hyped to try and get Grand Champion first or be on top of the leaderboards. And that should last 2 to 3 weeks or the full month. And then you just do it again. And you give people titles for it, like April Grand Champion or something like that. And so then people can collect them.
Of climbing, recently, if you give us 2 months, and people in Grand Champion can only start as high as Superstar, and everybody starts at Superstar, and it's a race to Grand Champion. Yeah. I like that idea, because the ranking system would probably work if they would just erase all previous knowledge of the MMR and let us build a new MMR quickly, because MMR stagnates over time. It's happening right now. Ladder's pretty stagnant. It happened in preseason. Nobody could get points off of anybody, no matter where they were. And if they just reset it before it stagnates, and then give rewards, I think it would be a lot better.
I'm getting on.
Go ahead, James.
Go ahead.
But like the monthly reset would be good, because then you could just give those titles for every single month. People can start like collecting titles, maybe like branch that system out a little bit more, and like you could have a little bit more fun with titles, and then like be able to show them off here or there. It's kind of like Hearthstone. Like you get a different card pack back
If you get to X rank.
Like every month, yeah. And it's not a great reward. Like, could care less about my card back, but a lot of people like those, and at least gives a reason to play. And I don't say, like, give a new, like, topper every time. Just do a title, because that's easy. It's, very easy to do. And that would at least solve some issues. Like, eventually, like, I would like them to do something like, once you hit Grand Champion, like, the ranking system changes, and you go into a different style of where, like, you just get points based on wins and stuff like that, and you fight kind of that way, and just change it up so it's not actually MMR, because that's just not fun for the top people. Because, like, a lot of people, like, say you're number 1, there's no reason to play. So number 2 should have a reason to play to try and catch you, but realistically, like, if they're at number 2, they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm happy at number 2. And then that just keeps going down, and it's like, then no one's playing.
If people do get to number 1 and replace the number 1, they'll have the same problem number 1 had.
Exactly. Then they stop, and then, like, number 1 should play again. But for the most part, people don't care that much about number 1 status. Most of them are like, if I'm in top 10, I'm fine. So then just no one plays.
Yeah, hopefully they've got a lot of smart people at Psyonix. I just hope that, like, I don't think it's a matter of them not being able to fix it. I just think they need to. It needs to get on their radar so they can prioritize it, because I think it's an important deal. Like, I have not played matchmaking, and somehow I am up to the 10 spot in threes, and I just like don't play. So there's just no movement.
Yeah. Now, one thing, of course, is boosting and stuff like that with ranked play and stuff. So, like, you might have to change some stuff. Like, if you're playing ranked, you can only play with people that are within 3 divisions of you or something like that, to maybe. So Smurfing's a little bit harder to do. Like, of course, like, these problems are not easy to fix, and people are always gonna, like, do weird things to get Grand Champion. But at some point, like, I don't care if 10% of the people don't deserve Grand Champion. The other 90% are gonna have fun trying to get the Grand Champion. So
even if the system is a little wacky, as long as you can make it fun again and make me feel like I'm not wasting my time, I'll be happy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's all I want, is to just have fun playing and like feeling like when I win, I'm making progress, and that if I like lose, I'm not losing so much that I can't hope to gain it back.
Boosters are gonna boost no matter what. Like, no matter what system you have, they'll find a way. So you sometimes just have to be like, 90% of the community will like this, and just go with that. I don't know, but we'll see what they do. Like, they're always listening. Like, I've talked to them about ranked specifically in private chats, and, like, they definitely want to know what's wrong and how they can fix it. And it takes time because it's a whole new system. Like, if they want to do a new system, but hopefully they do a quick band-aid. That's the only thing I want. Is, like, monthly resets would be perfect. Just do that for now, until you can figure something out. And I think everyone would be at least happy that they're trying something quick to fix it.
Yeah, I would.
We'll see. All right, on to the next talk. Let's talk a little bit about PAX. We mentioned it a couple times. Yeah, PAX hype. We got a lot of people going to this. We got the 3 of us are all going. Me and James are sharing a bed. It's going to be hot. We're all, like, in the same hotel, too, for the most part. So that's awesome.
I'm with Kyle, Classics, Digital, and Chad.
Oh
my
wow,
gosh.
5 of you in there?
Yeah. Someone gets the floor.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, like, whoever loses in a tower fall competition, gets the floor.
I definitely get a bet in that case.
Play Smash.
Yeah, like, I bought, like, a USB hub. Like, I'm ready to bring all my controllers. I'm bringing a PC. We're gonna have some good times. But yeah, there's a ton of us going. Seismic's going as well. Low Five's going. Probably a couple others that I'm forgetting, but.
And I'm sure if there's anybody else who's watching, if they're going too, like, we will be there.
Hit us up. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Gibbs will have some miniature microphones, maybe.
Yes, we'll be doing interviews. We're doing crowd interviews. It'll be hilarious. But yeah, we'll probably try and plan something for Saturday night at some point at like a public place. Tweet it out. I'll let you guys know if anyone's going to PAX. We'll all hang out somewhere and do something dumb, But yeah, for sure, PAX is gonna be awesome. It's 2 weeks away now, so.
Yeah, it's coming up. I just bought my plane ticket officially, and I'm getting in at 11 a.m. on Thursday, and
I'm getting in at 11 p.m. on Thursday. So
everyone else for my hotel gets in at 3 p.m.
Okay, well that's
not too bad.
All right, well I will have to just I'm planning on just sleeping on the lobby couch.
Just bump around the airport.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's 2 days after my birthday. Well, I guess 1 day with Thursday, so it's gonna be a nice birthday weekend with the boys.
Buy you some
We'll be,
birthday.
hopefully no Fireball.
Oh, I
Well,
love
we'll see.
Fireball, so
We'll
you're out
see.
of luck.
Oh, yeah. We'll be doing a lot of Fireball. It'll be a good time. We'll be doing some drunk interviews with people. The ones that are 21 and older.
Yeah, Kyle
We'll
just
be
turned
drinking.
21 today.
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh.
Kyle's birthday was today, so happy birthday, Kyle Mask. So we're going to have a good time, and there'll be some weird stuff going up on my YouTube probably from me and James. So get ready, guys. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
So the perks of Patreon for the extra special clips.
The triple X rated extra
Hey, I
special.
didn't the triple X packs. Yeah.
There you go. Packs with 3 X's at the end.
Yes.
All right. So on that. So yeah, guys. If you're at PAX, come say hi. We'll be very happy to see you. Like, it'll be the first time I'll see any fans. So just shout my name and I'll come give you a hug. I don't care. Be a good time. Good time. All right. On that, let's go into this week's tournament results. Let's see what happened this week. Finally, a lot of teams started playing. Cosmic still hasn't played. Come on, Crow.
I know.
What are you doing over here?
Now what's happening?
Soon, TM.
Soon, TM. Are you guys playing this weekend or no?
We play KOU and Vex on Sunday for Pulsar.
Okay. Cool. But no other big
I don't know if
tournaments?
we're doing Market. I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
PSL? Are you guys-
Maybe, but we
Might have to schedule around the other
might have to
games.
schedule around Pulsar. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least we'll get 2 games in from Cosmic. Playing solid teams, so that'll be a good
10
thing
games
for power
total.
rankings later. Yeah, exactly, because it's 5-game sets, so that'll be good. But let's get on to tournament
Yeah,
results.
Gibbs, why don't you tell the most impressive result of the
All right, most impressive tournament result of the entire week. We had the monthly ESL finals on Xbox. 3 old blind men taking the win, sweeping the monthly finals. Me, Jamesbot, and Kyle taking the 5 headsets and $500. So that
Yeah,
was cool.
so that's actually a story. So
Yeah.
we we made the Xbox monthly finals by playing in like one ESL tournament on Xbox. There was like 9 teams or something.
Yeah. Plus, we played with a random fan.
Yeah, just
he was
somebody
a
on
little
Twitter.
out of his element, but
Yeah.
it was fun.
It was fun. You found him on Twitter. Like he got to play with
La Fluffy.
It was awesome. So yeah, La Fluffy, thanks for helping us out.
Yeah.
But we got enough points to get into the monthly final, and we ended up winning it. It went really fast. We didn't drop a game, which was cool. We won it, but then like they originally were telling us that it was like, yeah, we'll get you $100 and everyone gets a headset. And then I was like, I went all investigator, and I started reading through the rules, and I was like, well, the rules actually say $500 and 5 headsets, and I just tweeted
Copy
that at you,
pasta.
Gibbs, and like somehow you managed to make it happen. I don't know. But.
Yeah, because I assume they copy and pasted that probably from like a CSGO tournament that's 5-on-5. I think CSGO is 5-on-5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's probably where it came from, and they forgot to change it, and they're like, no, we'll honor it, and we're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, so we're
Headset
walking away.
giveaway?
Yeah, who knows? We'll
That
see.
was like
We'll
the
see.
biggest Rocket League prize pool I've ever won, and it was on Xbox monthly finals, which
Yeah,
is
it was pretty funny.
yeah.
But on that, we'll go to North America monthly finals. There wasn't too many good teams in this. Mocket kind of ran away with it. They had a little trouble with Forsaken, but really no one else showed up to this that was like super top tier quality. So Mocket comes away with the win, a 4-2 win in the finals. So congrats to them for the monthly final. And I assume those monthly finals are going to start getting a lot more competitive because what we said earlier, now it's going to be $500 every month. And no one knew what this one was. But I guess they probably also got $500.
Also,
Like if they
another-
fought for it. So
Another kind of cool note, I think it was Mocket versus Forsaken. Forsaken is actually all PS4 players. So I think that was the first time, to my knowledge, that a PS4 team made it all the way ever since crossplay was introduced.
Is that
They've been-
JNAP's low player and someone else?
I think
Is
it
that
was.
who that is?
I think
it was
they had subs,
Dapper.
though,
I think it
with
was
Otis.
Dapper. It might have been Lil Mets. I'll have to go back and
I
look. but
thought there might have been subs in there, but yeah, like I think Otis played and Redemption Hound possibly.
Yep.
There's a
Yep.
couple pretty good PlayStation players that I'm not
Oh, yeah, for
surprised
sure.
made it that far.
Yeah,
Inaps is a good PS4. Dapper, Otis, Redemption Hound,
Yeah.
Lil Mets. I think all.
but it
those.
just goes to show for like RLCS, like if you're a PS4 team, like you can definitely like
There
there's
is
not
hope.
it's not yeah
Yes.
there's not a huge disadvantage. Like I bet like if you saw Kings of Urban on PS4, they would still make the group stage. Like I don't think it's that big a deal. Like it does help a tiny bit on PC, but it's not a huge deal, guys. So if you're on PS4, you guys should be fine trying to qualify. Don't use the PS4 as an excuse. That's all I gotta say about that. And then on that, we got ESL North America Genesis with now their old roster. They went on and took the win over Chemistry, who had a sub. And there was other teams in this as well. Like Retrospective was in this, Vex was in this, and they all got dropped out early. I think Aspire might have been in it as well. So there was a bunch of teams in this, and Genesis just kind of ran away with it. So kudos to them, but looks like it doesn't matter now because rosters are changing.
Yeah. It was honestly pretty surprising to see Retrospect go out as like they tore up the Pulsar Premier League.
Yeah, like 2 days before that or whatever.
They went 6-0 or no, not that doesn't add up. Does it?
No,
won,
yeah.
It was they won all 6 series. They dropped games, but they won every series.
Yeah. So it was a little surprising to see them go out. They went out to Heroes of Tomorrow, I think, and then they lost to whoever. But the Chemistry, my boy, A Money, he's coming up big. His new team is starting to look really good. So I'm super happy for him.
You could say they're finally getting some chemistry together.
There you go.
I see what you did there.
All right. So we're gonna end this call with Crow.
I'll escort myself out.
But yeah, so that's good to see for my boy. And there's more teams coming up now. Like Chemistry is one of those up and coming teams that can definitely fight for that top 8 spot. And then like group stage, who knows? Because like teams are going to start playing a lot more together because it's a big deal, the RLCS. So some of these teams might surprise once you get to group stage. Be like, wow, I didn't realize that they were this good. And it's like, well, 2 weeks ago they weren't, but they just played a shit ton together. And now that they, are getting really good. So should be fun when the group stage happens. But then we got ESL Europe. We Dem Girls, no surprise here. They win again. They've been winning everything in Europe, basically. 0 effort with a 2nd, and Crown and Jewels in 3rd. And as well on that, not much to say there. We don't follow Europe as closely, me and James at least, so.
Yeah, no, EU, I'm a little bit more detached because a lot of times they're playing when I'm at work. So it's hard to stay involved. I catch like a lot of the notable games, but I know a lot of kind of the intermediary stuff in NA, which I miss a lot of that for EU.
Yeah, so
I'm just waiting for Flipside to play Crown and Jewels and We Dem Girls. I want to see how they're doing after their little hiatus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like Flip, they played in the Market EU tournament and won that. And Crown and Jewels, well, I guess Market EU was in that, but they didn't actually wind up playing each other, I don't think. Because Market EU actually got bounced early with some surprise losses. So they Flipside wound up playing Kapow twice, beat them both times. That was the only notable game from that series. But Kapow is like that number 6 team. They've been there for a while. They've always been like a tier below. I feel like they're like tier 2 in Europe. So I want to see like Flipside start playing those tier 1s again. See where Flipside actually rests now because it's been a while and who knows? Because like We Dem Girls is winning everything. So that's like the one matchup everyone wants to see. Does Flipside still have it, or is We Dem Girls the real deal?
Yeah, they're looking scary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're winning everything.
Yeah, they're tough to play against. They get to the ball so fast, and it's so hard to get anything by them. They're so good at their challenges.
And then Market NA, actually, We Dem Girls won that. They wound up playing in that instead of the Europe one. They beat Market NA as well, which I hate that it's a tournament and a team name. It's really confusing. And then Team Chemistry, this was their breakout party, basically. Market NA was on Saturday. And they wound up coming in 3rd, having a really good... They went to the winter bracket finals and then wound up losing 2 in a row. But that's where they kind of broke out and started making a name for themselves. So.
Yeah, they sent me, Kyle, and Digital. We signed up on that market for fun. Mm-hmm. And they sent us the losers bracket. And they played really well together. I really like that team.
Yeah, I hope to see them continue to get better. And it's like NA is not... there is no top 4 set in NA for RLCS, which we'll get to later, but it's gonna be wild, this RLCS. Let's just say that. Then we also had Gfinity. Now some of the teams played in Market EU instead, like Flipside, Market EU, and Kapow. But Shazoo winds up winning that. Their newly formed Shazoo team, like O'Neal bringing back the name over Precision Z. Not too much to say in that because a lot of teams didn't play in it, but it's nice to see Shazoo making a comeback, and I hope to see him around. Mm-hmm. One of the best team names in the game, Shazoo. That's pretty much it for the tournament result. Now, I'm all set to get on my stage again. Jamesbot, like we all know, my Soapbox, Pulsar Premier League. I just want to talk about this real quick. The whole qualifying process was done extremely poorly, in my opinion. So let me start with a little trivia for the two of you. Okay, so don't look below on this outline. All right, so we have two teams. You let me know which team is better. Team A. They haven't played in 3 months. When they used to play, they're 9th ranked, maybe 10th ranked, 8th ranked, roughly in the power rankings. Then they stopped. And they went on their separate ways, and they came back for this. So they 2-0 Weebs on Wheels, 0-2 Kings of Urban, 2-0 Assassins, 0-2 Lucky Bounce, 0-2 Team B, who I'll talk about in a second, and then 0-2 Ignition Gaming.
So they lose, right? You're saying
Yeah, so 0-2s are losses. So they went 2-4. They beat Weebs on Wheels and Assassins. Not great wins. Like, both those teams aren't top teams at all, really. And they lose to everyone else without taking a game. Like 0-2 to Kings, Lucky Bounce, Team B, and Ignition Gaming. And Ignition Gaming isn't that great either. So, yeah. But obviously, like, we know where I'm heading with this, because obviously I like Team B more. But Team B, they 2-1 Mocket NA. Then they 0-2 Retro, but like Retro beat everyone. 1-2 Aspire, not a great loss, but at least they picked up a game. 2-0 Triple D, not a fantastic win. 2-0 Team A, and 1-2 Vex Gaming. So they took a game off Vex as well. So their losses at least were close, except for Retro. And they beat everyone else that they had to play. And they beat Team A. Plus, they were ranked, like, I would say borderline 10 to 15 range for these past, like, month. We'll say. Maybe creeping into the top 10 because there wasn't a lot of teams, but we'll say realistically 11 through 15. Okay, so which team should make it? Obviously, like, you know where I'm heading with this.
Yes, it certainly.
God damn it, Crow! You're off the team. No.
Yeah, no, it's definitely based on the results. They have the tiebreaker win, and
I think the tiebreakers,
yeah, like I think tiebreakers like the big thing here. Like Team B, they went 3-3 as well, so they had a better record. Like I could see if the 2-4 team beat the 3-3 team, then you have more of an argument, maybe because it was a Swiss tournament, so it was weird who you played, and you didn't play the same opponents. Mm-hmm. But like Team B outperformed Team A, and the only reason why Team A makes it into the qualifier division higher than them. Because of 3 months ago where they were power ranked and they haven't played together since?
Yeah, I think it definitely, the Pulsar Premier League, again, this is another very new league. Originally, the first season was all volunteers. Like the prize pool was like hardly anything. We got like for second place, we got in the playoffs, we got like $10. So it was just for fun. So now the second one has come around. Kevin, the guy who runs it, he got a good sponsor, and it's $1,000 prize pool. Teams want to play,
it's awesome.
And he is doing a lot of the work. And I think it's just one of those learning experiences. Mm-hmm. The qualifying process was not completely put out there. It wasn't. Everything was not clear, and also whenever you bring any sort of subjectivity into it, you're opening yourself up to have other people who have different opinions, like they are going to question your decisions. So I think it is. Like clearly, there were things that were not done the best and should have been done differently. Sure. And I think some of the things you're highlighting are that. But I've talked to Kevin, the guy who runs everything on the back end, and he's going to change things up for the next season. And he learned a lot from this, and I'm looking forward to it. But again, yeah, there's some parts of it that just kind of like the whole inviting a team just because they didn't show up, like Mocket EU.
And Cosmic.
Automatically invited.
Yeah, and us.
Cosmic got automatically invited. Mm-hmm. Like teams who would have been on the same automatic invite level may not have decided to open themselves up to having to play everybody if they would have been automatically invited. Like like if I'm a captain of the team, I want to be given that decision. I don't want to find out that, hey, I could have just automatically been invited. Why did you let me play? Like
Kings of Urban, for instance, like even if they win 06, they're probably in that top tier. It doesn't really matter because they're Kings of Urban. So it just seemed weird. Like, I love Pulsar, and I love what they're doing over there, but I just wanted to point out, like, yeah, these are learning experiences, obviously. Like, I'm not trying to put them on blast saying, like, no one should watch or anything like that. Like, they made a mistake, I think, here, and they'll learn from it. But, like, one thing that I would have done to, like, maybe help the situation a bit is, like, take the top 4-ish teams, but, like, guys, you don't have to play in this qualifier. then it would have made the Swiss bracket a little bit more exciting because you have closer matches. Like, hey, Kings, like, don't bother playing, you're in. Cosmic, don't bother playing, you're in. Maybe Mocket NA as well and stuff like that. To make it a little bit more exciting. Like, of course, there was, like, roster Armageddon, so they wanted to see how these teams were playing. But teams like Failure to Launch and Kings of Urban, they shouldn't have had to play for that. And I can see why they don't want Cosmic in there.
But selfishly, though, my theory is that Cloud Fuel and the power ranking committee said,
we wanted it.
Just do this for us. We need results.
We wanted the games, that's for sure. And, like, the games are exciting for the most part. But, like, with so many teams in the Swiss system, you have varied opponents. And so it's harder to tell. Like, a bunch of teams finished 3-3, and it's like, well, some of these guys had to play Kings and Retro while the other ones didn't because they started off on a losing streak, and they got to play like Assassins and like Triple D or something. A little weird. And then if you had it more where like top 4 are excluded, you have better matchups, and you might be able to actually see between teams like Jarelli's Goodies, who was Team A, and Kindergarten, who was Team B. You would get to see them play more like minded opponents, and then
It would
you
just
can
be
make
more
it better.
fair.
Yeah, like you would make a better choice. Plus, you could have just been like, "Hey, these 4 teams qualified. If you don't do well in this, you will not qualify." Like maybe make it more concrete.
It's like I as like a player and just like as a spectator, like I want to see if you win, you're in. I want it to be
I don't like this
completely result
hazy
driven
stuff.
Yeah, I don't want any subjectivity. If you're going to invite teams, just do it, and then everybody else, if you finish top whatever, then you're in. Like, let's keep it like that. Prevents you from criticism. Teams earn it, and you won't have people like those fringe teams that maybe are not going to be in the Premier League. They're going to be very upset. Like, you have created enemies unless you can bring them back in. So
yeah, they're going to feel cheated for sure if they didn't make it because they had to play like a really good team when that team could have just been auto-invited and that match could have never happened.
Yeah, it just seems a little unfair for Kindergarten. Now, at the same time, like, the argument is, well, if you did even better, or if you, like, were performing better at the time, then you would have got invited as well. Like, being on the border, like, being on the bubble sucks, so, like, you could have resolved that by not being on the bubble, but of course, I don't know, like, it's just weird that 3 months ago is the last time Jarelli's played, and they were ranked, like, 9th in the power rankings, I would say. They just missed out on the Pro League by a game, but they were probably right around 9th. You might have had Moon Men ahead of them, but, like, was 3 months ago. That's like an eternity, like in Rocket League. And Kindergarten has at least been putting in the time now. So I would have been like say Kindergarten went 2-4, and Jarelli's went 3-3. I think either team could have probably been in it because Kindergarten's at least playing and Jarelli's isn't. But like this way, it just seemed like a mistake. And I think they know that now, but obviously they're not just
they're and the other flip side of it too. It's a good learning experience. It'll be better. And also, it's only a 5-week league, and it's for $1,000. So hopefully, all the crazy drama around this will help them get more attention and viewers and stuff. But it's really 5 weeks is not that long of a time before the next season will come into play. So the teams who are missing out, or maybe they didn't make it into the Premier League, 5 weeks is not that long, and then they'll have another shot.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want to make it like a big deal or anything, but that's also another reason why I would have been like, just let Jarelli's play for 5 weeks, and then like they would have if they showed it, they would be in for the next season. It's hard to just have a team show up, not do well in qualifiers, and be like, no, you're in anyway. I don't know, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things because they're one of the lower tier teams in that division. But of course, like if they wind up winning it, then I guess I was wrong, but I don't know. I would still be like, they shouldn't have qualified anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the takeaway from this is that, next season's going to be really good because all the mistakes from this season should be gone.
Yeah, exactly. They're learning with each season, and I love what they're doing over there. Their like highlight reels and stuff are really cool. I hope they bring that back. I'm not sure if they have
the
yet
stats,
for the season.
the stats and the videos. I loved that stuff. Yeah.
The informative stats are fun.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. So definitely check out Pulsar Premier League. It'll be going on for the next 5 weeks. They broadcast Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I think something like that.
Day.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So you guys can see games there, and they're definitely doing some good stuff over there. Go check them out. Now, I got a question for you, Crow. Since me and James did our predictions for RLCS the first week that we did this, which will probably change before the RLCS happens, we want your predictions on the top 4 for both regions, if you want to give them.
All right, I'll start with EU first.
Okay.
Do I have to order them, or can I just put top four?
It's up to you. Like, just top four is fine.
Okay, so top four for EU would definitely be Flipside and Weedham Girls.
Okay.
And then I'll do...
Like, gets hazy, right?
Right, yeah. Those final few spots, I mean, you have Kapow that I really want to put there. I feel like they're a bit of a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think Crown and Jewels rounds that out. I feel like...
Now, Crown and Jewels or Market EU?
No, Market
Crown and
EU, I think Crown and Jewels will make it. I feel like Market EU has been struggling a little bit recently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Combined with their roster issues, since they can't use Scrub.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of room to grow before RLCS, and if they can't meet the level they need to play at, as far as teamwork is concerned and synergy is concerned, they might not get past some of the other teams.
Yeah, like I think with Europe, just consistency, it's going to be really hard in the best of three because Europe's so much more competitive than NA. Right. Like a 20th ranked team in Europe could probably take a best of three versus like a 4th ranked on like a given day. In NA, right. That's probably not going to happen usually, but Europe, I could definitely see that. It could happen, but I'd see like Europe, it's a better chance, I would say. And so like some of these top 4 teams might not even make group stage in qualifier 1. They might have to just win out qualifier 2 and hope that they make it because it's gonna be rough. But all right, so North America, who do you got?
I'm gonna put Orbit, us, and KOU as top 3, and the 4th spot is difficult for me because now it's sad we run into an issue. I was just gonna put Genesis there, but now I don't know if he's on KOU. So assuming he's on KOU and Moses is on Genesis, I'd probably still put Genesis there.
Okay.
Retrospect was looking pretty good, but I feel like if they just end up facing one of the other teams, they might just get put down pretty early. I think it's going to be us, KOU, Genesis, and Orbit.
Yeah, like I think Retro is one of those teams that's like, they're super hot right now, but I could definitely see a time where they go super cold. Yeah. And let's just hope that doesn't happen during the RLCS. Yeah. Like I'm not sure, obviously, because they've been looking really good right now. But
a lot of their success too has come with Espeon playing, and Espeon was signed up as a sub for RLCS. So I'm wondering what is their starting lineup gonna really look like, because Espeon just got an internship at Facebook. He was saying he's worried that he's not going to be able to play as much. But he is undoubtedly like one of the best players on the NA scene, and I wonder how that's going to affect them. Their starting lineup was originally planned to be Flo, Husky, and Classics, so that is a little bit of a question mark to me.
Yeah, that's true. And then that could also lead to like, hey, some bad blood, maybe not bad blood, but some people get some feelings hurt if they get dropped off the like starting roster or whatever. That could cause some turmoil. But what about Market NA? You didn't mention them, Crow.
Right. I actually forgot about them completely, and I feel kind of bad now because I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of Market NA play other top NA teams. I feel like, because now I forgot about them, I feel like Orbit, Market NA, and Genesis would all be fighting for that last spot, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like there are 5 really good North American teams, and only 4 can make it.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking.
That last spot's really competitive for contention.
Yeah, with the like power rankings this week, like I actually took the time to just put Cosmic on that tier, like between tier 1 and tier 2, just because we don't know what they're doing right now, so we're waiting for results. And so I had them 6th, and I just had top 5 as tier 1, and I had those teams that you mentioned. Kings, Orbit, Retro, Genesis. I had someone else there now that I can't think about. But there was one other team in there, but whatever.
Chemistry?
No, not Chemistry. Like, they're not that good yet. Like, I love A-Money, but I don't love them that much. Hold on. Let me find it. I'll do some scouting here. Market NA, Retrospect. Yeah, and Genesis, I said. So, Orbit, Kings of Urban, Market NA, Retrospect, so that's fine.
Yeah, Vex is probably another team that can be fighting their way up there.
Vex is West Coast,
many
though.
Teams.
That's what I'm worried about with them.
Yeah.
With the
I don't
East
know
Coast
how
servers.
much I will fight people on that ping thing. Like,
yeah, we've already discussed the ping thing. We won't get back into it, but Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of question marks on some of these teams. Like Kings of Urban lately has been losing a lot of games to some of these top teams, so they're a little questionable, but that's probably why they got Sad. Let's see if Sad gels well with them. I assume he will, because he plays a lot with them anyway. But, again, it's best of threes. You just never know. You know, got to be on your game. And I was telling people, and I'll tell people here, like, be careful of DDoS attacks. Teams, like, there's some dumb people in the world that will want to ruin your day. Have a backup place. Have a backup IP somewhere else that no one knows about. And, like, be ready in case you're getting DDoS to just, like, run your computer over there.
I know my local Starbucks over here. I'm just
exactly. Yeah,
my laptop and
get
some coffee.
In between playing, you'll be writing a screenplay on your MacBook.
Exactly. Yeah, so, like, have backup places, guys, for DDoS, and especially the top teams, because I don't want to see any top team not make it because they're getting DDoS during the open qualifier. So try to have, like, a friend's place, like, if you have to.
There's many posts on the internet about protecting yourself from DDoS. Just do it.
Yeah, they're not perfect, though, too. Like, if someone really wants to DDoS you, they probably will be able to, but try and take as many precautions as you can.
Yeah, Lizard Squad's coming for you.
Yeah, right? But, you know, some people just don't want to see teams go for some reason or another, so be careful. Yes. Be careful. All right, so on that, we'll talk a little bit about power rankings. Not too much, because we're running a little long. But the power rankings for NA just got announced. And we'll run down the list. We'll start at 10. We got James. Actually, want to take the top 10 here? Do you have the list?
Well, I can get NA real quick. I had it up. Yep, here it is. So at number 1, or do you want me to start at number 10?
Yeah, let's go 10. Let's build the hype.
At number 10, we've got Aspire RL. Used to be the 2-arc squad. And that, so Aspire RL is Finesse, Greg, Kazoo. They picked up Chrome because Steve Gates cannot play in RLCS, and then they have Steve Gates still on the roster. So
next up, I'll take this one. My boy, A-Money, Chemistry, number 9, coming in hot. They actually had a recent roster change because Matt went to Lucky Bounce, like, last minute. And so they wound up picking up Air, and it seems to be working out really well for them, and glad they're there, but we'll see more of them soon. Go ahead, James, number 8.
Yeah, number 8, we've got Lucky Bounce, and these are players that we've seen on the scene for quite some time, mainly Matt and Timothy, and they are joined up by Darkfire in September. So Lucky Bounce, they've always, you know, they're lingering around this 8 spot, like the lower half of the top 5. They've been around that region for a while, so good to see them coming in at number 8 this week.
Number 6, we got a tie, so there's no number 7. We got Vex and Genesis. So I actually put Genesis pretty high, and I think that's why they got ahead of Vex, or at least tied them, because of their ESL win. But Vex is a really strong team. They've been putting up results. They did well in the qualifiers as well, and Genesis kind of didn't do great in qualifiers. Quinn was subbed out because he was sick that night, so had probably a little bit to do with it. But at this point now, of course, Genesis kind of imploded for at least right now. We'll see what happens. Bringing on Moses, and like I see them climbing with Sad or Moses, and we'll probably see them top 5 soon. Well, possibly. Like, they're gonna fight some of these harder teams up here, but then we got Cosmic at number 5. It's kind of just like a stand-in right now. They won Mockets 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, and you guys haven't done anything since, but well, we did beat Double Tap, but that was me, you, and Sad, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and we played Jamesbot,
and that was
he's awful.
That was like a free win. Right? He's a caster. He's not.
Hey,
they beat us on Wasteland.
If Espion's in chat, I'm sure he's pasting his dank meme that he made. But hey, yeah, we did. We ended your undefeated streak on.
Well, Crown and Jewels actually did that to us during the playoffs, but it was still impressive. But yes, we got Cosmic at 5. Most people on paper see them as number 1, maybe number 2, behind Kings. So once they get more results under their belt, I can see them catapulting up there. Obviously, I'm biased. Crow is not biased. So, Crow, like, what do you guys say about Cosmic? Like, number 1?
Totally not biased. I'm pretty sure we're just undisputed number 1 champions of the world, really. Totally. Unbiased.
Yeah, I'm biased. Then we got Retrospect, number 4, the new boys, Classic, Husky, Flo, and Espion. They've been on fire.
Yeah, 2 former teammates of mine with Espion and Flo, so representing Double Tap, carrying the torch there. So I'm happy to see them at number 4 this week.
Then we got Mocket Esports NA. They move into number 3. Now, 1, 2, and 3 are tough. They've all taken games off each other. It's been like rock, paper, scissors going on. Mocket, like, I'm not sold on Mocket. for some reason or another. I don't know. Like, I think sometimes they look a little shaky. Like, they looked a little shaky in the ESL monthly finals for a little bit there versus Forsaken. Not sold on them, but they have been putting up some results. So they come in number 3.
My biggest thing that why I've been disappointed in their squad is how bad Low 5 is at golf with friends. Really,
There you go.
really
Increase the
effective.
skills. Increase the skills. Come on, Low 5. Like, you stream full time. Get better at golf with friends.
Yeah, come
what are
on.
you doing? What are you doing? We got number 2. We got Orbit. So this was actually really close. 2 of us put them at number 1. It was, I think, Cloud and Dirk. And then the rest of us put Kings at number 1. And it just comes down to Orbit has been taking series off Kings, but then they also wind up falling to lesser teams. While Kings, they might fall to the top 3 teams, but they don't lose to anyone else. So they're just a little bit more consistent at number 1 with Kings of Urban. So it's tough. It's really close. Like, pretty much any of those top 5, top 6 teams could fight for that number 1 spot right now, and then I would say it falls off after Genesis. I would put Vex just a little bit lower than those 6 teams. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting ride. We'll see if Cosmic can show up like they look on paper. They look like number 1. We'll see. And then everyone else too, like they're playing well, but everyone is losing, which is good. Because that means it's more exciting, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Retrospect literally just beat Orbit 3-2.
Oh, that's true.
In Pulsar Premier League. So, yeah, it's going to be a battle until iBuyPower starts playing again. Because obviously they're just going to not lose a game.
Bias alert. But yeah, so like top 8 is going to be close because some of these teams might wind up playing in that losers bracket. Because who knows how the season's going to work. So top 8's gonna be a ride for the RLCS because that's really all that matters. Like all these other tournaments or whatever, it really comes down to can you make that top 8.
Like practice, basically.
Yeah, and then it matters if you make top 8, and then of course top 4 and top 2. Top 1 doesn't really matter. Like top 2 is then you're pretty much set for the LAN if you make top 2.
Yeah, I think you're actually not allowed to compete in the next qualifier if you finish top 2.
No, you move to the group stage automatically. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least you'll finish like 7th or 8th.
Like finishing top 2 in the first qualifier guarantees you points in the second qualifier.
Exactly. Plus,
and then that should
you're in
guarantee
group
you to the
stage.
final.
Yeah, because then you're in group stage, so it's not like, oh, you had one bad best of 3 set and you were out. It's more like you get 35 games to play, and if you're good, like you're probably going to win most of those and at least come 4th or 5th. And if you come in 5th, you're probably set. Like you'll probably have enough points to advance. It won't matter what the other teams do. So, really, the goal for the RLCS is finishing top 2 for sure. All right, on that, I keep forgetting to do timestamps, so I keep guessing. So bad. On that, we'll move to questions. We had a couple of questions coming in from Twitter. Me and Jamesbot threw them out there. They're mostly focused on Crow, not all of them though. So
Well, my tweet was specifically, "What do you want me to ask Crow?"
that's true. Mine was more general, but
Yeah, my bad.
That's
I didn't
fine.
read the
I mean,
instructions. So
it's okay.
Can I get this first one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, this first one is from Psionics Art, who's a neat dude who makes focuses a lot on performance issues on Xbox. So if you have any stuff on that, you can send it his way. But he asks, he asks Kronovi, how are you preparing for the RLCS, and has that changed from the usual training regimen with the roster changes?
Our training regimen has increased. Starting Monday, Gambit has suggested that me, him, and Latch enter in every single tournament possible
I like
to get as
it.
much time practicing as possible. So you'll see all of us enter the Mocket 1v1 starting Monday. Hopefully we can get an iBuyPower finals. Tuesday we'll do the 2v2, get as many people as we can in there, do the 3v3, do whatever we need to do. Just play, get used to each other, practice. And that's really what we're doing. We're just spending a lot of time playing. That's probably our best practice.
Yeah. And Gambit's like, it's funny. I have you guys on my friends list so I can see when you're getting on and stuff. And like Gambit is like always like he'll play by himself a lot. Like he just plays all the time.
Yeah, he plays a ton.
It's
awesome.
Glad
Like,
to see him back.
With the new roster, like everyone, like Crow, like I know you'll speak to this, is everyone has a new spark, like a new energy, and they're all ready for the RLCS. And I think the roster moves were great because it's just like it brings in new flavor, and everyone's excited, and everyone wants to win, and Like Latch and Gambit for me, because I have to deal with like their forums and stuff, and they've been all really helpful trying to get them done and all that stuff. So everyone seems in high spirits, and
Oh yeah, we're super excited to play together.
yeah, I'm excited to see it.
I want to see you guys playing in all these tournaments coming up because I've played you guys like once. Oh, sorry.
Why does he have a knife? It's like, I want to see you play.
I can't wait to see you at PAX.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to sleep next to you. Oh, God.
This is an M9 bayonet. This is what I use for bunny hopping when I go upstairs. It lets me run faster, essentially. Places I need to go. But yeah, when we played you guys in matchmaking, back when I was still with Double Tap, you guys you get to the ball so fast, you go for every ball pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of you guys moving forward, how that plays in, because you're all like so good at doing the pressure. And Gibbs was such a defensive player. I wonder if someone's going to kind of like pick up a more conservative role. But anyway, it's going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, it's just fun seeing three like solid players. Like obviously, like your roles will change, which we've talked about, Crow. Like me and you, it's like you all three can't be the star of the team, like all three of you used to be. So things are going to change where certain positions just aren't like as glorious, but if you have good rotational game.
Speaking of defense, James, Gambit actually, I think, was up there on the total saves in the RLC Pro League because he was playing on OC. I mean, I remember a game where he had like 7 saves in a game.
Wow.
Like he's a defensive god, and Lash can save just about anything. So I kind of had already, have my pocket Gibbs back in Gambit in a sense.
You see, Crow here is just trying to be like, I want to score all the goals, I'm going to tell Latch and Gambit to play defense. That's what he's saying here.
No, it is annoying though. It's because like when they're so fast on reaction times and it's good mechanically, it's hard to like get a shot that they're not going to block. So, but anyway, let's move on to the next question.
All right, this comes in from Gregan, who's a shoutcaster in Europe. He's been doing a lot of the like Insomnia games stuff. Yeah, so he's been doing a good job over there. How much room do you think there is for a new meta to the game, and what part of the game do you think it will affect?
Well, I don't think there's room for a new meta.
So with that though, I think with new maps, if they ever come in, then you get different metas on different style maps.
I think for this RLCS,
there's not gonna be much.
Wasteland is not different enough to do a new meta in a sense. I think right now all the teams are playing to the established meta that is proven to work as well as they can. Get a bunch of shots on net. Eventually it goes in, pass to the middle, pass off the walls, take some boost, starve them out. That's kind of just how it works.
Yeah, like for this one, especially because right now they still have the map bans in. Like I know they were talking about taking that out possibly, but so for right now, like this RLCS is basically going to be no Wasteland because why practice it if you get good on it, then it's just going to get banned. So why not just ban it yourself? So it's probably going to be a more just urban style tournament. But I hope like for RLCS 2, like they get some of these Rocket Labs maps out and we can start seeing some meta Cosmic changes. Yeah, exactly. Like Cosmic's coming soon. In some of these maps, then you can play a little bit differently, and we'll see how teams play on these maps. Some teams are going to try like different roles. Maybe on Utopia, they just all sit in the tunnel, wait it out, and then go for tips like on the offensive side, but also play defense from that spot. Like,
well, you might see teams like Crown and Jules and Maki DU get some insane, demolitions through the goal just by camping the net. Yeah. You might not be safe on your side of the pitch on Utopia.
Yeah. Or go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just along that exact line about like the meta. It seems like there's a lot less bumping in NA than there is in EU, at least based on like the teams that I've played in EU. So I wonder if like demolitions and bumping like with new maps like Utopia, like that might be a whole new aspect to the game that we see becoming way more important, and teams who do it successfully will start winning.
Yeah, plus bumping's a huge investment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You trade time and boost hitting a player, and if you miss, it's kind of over. But Utopia, the trade-off it doesn't exist. You're just right there at your own net. Playing defense is so easy that it's just free bumps.
Like the trade-off on Utopia is there is less boost to go around, so you still lose the boost, but you don't lose position at all. But then at the same time, like you might see on offense just triple aerials, where all three go up and try and make a pass and aerial play, because if you fail it, you're all landing right there, and then you're all on defense anyway, so it's not a huge risk. So I think we're going to see a lot of really fancy goals on Utopia on the offensive side, because it's going to be hard to score, because usually there will be 3 defenders, so you're going to have to work hard to get a goal, plus it's not a huge risk to score those goals. So I think Utopia will change it a lot compared to the other maps.
Given, like, if new maps end up making it into the scene, because there's going to be a philosophical battle between people who say that we should only have the standard map versus let's bring in new maps. So it will be fun to see how that plays out. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that basically comes down to is like, does Twitch want the new maps? Or like after like RLCS 1, if people are like, hey, you know, like this could be useful with new maps, we'll see what the fans say. And you know, like they're probably gonna like take it pretty slow on their new maps. I hope they go a little faster, obviously, like for me. But
just yellow swag it.
Yeah, just go. Why not? Just let anyone pick anything. Just go for it. But we'll see. Hopefully some other tournaments just start bringing in new maps and like, hey, you have a map pick phase and a ban phase, but you can only ban one map. There's 5 different ones now, so more maps could be chosen if they want, and that I think helps the NA side a little bit more than EU. Most of the EU teams don't like Wasteland, at least. Who knows about the other ones yet, but they seem to just like playing on Urban, so that might help NA a little bit. All right, next question. Go ahead, James. Take it.
Yep, this one is from Unique Syntax, who is also a player on the NA scene. He asks Kronovi, do you ever use your influence with psionics to get in-game bugs fixed faster?
I feel like whenever a new big patch hits, psionics always looks to the streams when it hits, you know, public servers. Like when Season 2 initially released, or I think a better example is probably Season 1. And when Season 1 released, they saw that a bunch of their top players weren't getting any points for any wins at all, and Platinum was all messed up, and nobody could get any points anywhere. And so, of course, we were voicing concerns, and Cordy was in my chat saying, oh, yeah, no, this isn't rounding properly, blah, blah, blah. And was explaining things really well to a lot of people watching because it was kind of like patch day. I think that's the only time I've ever had my stream get a bug fixed faster, just because there was attention on it. And Sonics probably already knew that. I don't think I have the ability to do that unless I made like a really big fuss about it and like posted it everywhere. I don't think I actually am able to influence a bug getting fixed faster.
Yeah, unless you directly message or tweet at Dirk. That's the only way I know to get things fixed faster. Is if you tweet at Dirkend, and that is at Dirkend on Twitter.
Guys, just all blast him right now. Just say fix it, Dirk.
Server turned out.
Yeah.
But no, and that's cool. And another thing I just want to tack on to the end of that is that I've had the opportunity to play with Art a couple times, and he gave some insight into like what the folks at Psionics do, and they will literally go out and like start their day looking at posts on Reddit, not even just the ones that make it to the top, but they're going around looking for potential bugs, things that they can fix or make better, or even ideas for new things to put into the game. So it's great that you don't have to be a Kronovi to help get things changed in Rocket League.
And I'll tack on to your tack on, but like Psionics has come to pretty much all streams. Like I see him in a ton of different streams. Like I'll go into a lower level stream.
They're in this one right now, by the way.
Exactly. Like they're here now. Like they're listening. They always listen. Like I've been approached plenty of times from Psionics personally in DMs or in like other private talks about like, hey, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that, or like some future stuff where it's like, hey, who knows? You know, we're just thinking about this. What are your thoughts and stuff like that? So they approach a lot of the pros just to get some insight. Now, of course, like they're not going to use everything we say, which they shouldn't, because like they have their own minds about their own game as well. But it's always good to give them proper input when you can. Like if they ask for something, guys, like give them good examples, give them good feedback, and they're listening and they're taking it all back to the top, and they get shit done. Just sometimes it's a little slow, but they're small studios, so things will grow. All right. Next question comes in from Saber the Gamer on Twitter. What type of mindset do you guys have while playing a competitive game of Rocket League? What's on your mind and what are you focused on?
Win, 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 no matter what.
It's really my mindset when I play is just trying to think about what the best play in the moment is, making sure I win that one-on-one. If I have to challenge someone for the ball, make sure I win it. It's really just lots of thoughts on positioning. I'm really moment to moment when I play a competitive game. I'm not thinking, oh, we're in game 1 and what happens if we go to game 3. I want to be focused on exactly what's happening in that moment. Anything that just happened that wasn't significant just gets dumped out of my memory. I don't know how we scored that last goal.
Yeah.
All I know is I hit the ball in the corner.
Yeah.
That's all I need to care about, is if I can just focus on it, like maybe 3 seconds ahead of the game. Oh, he's going to get that boost. I'm going to go over here. If I just think 3 seconds ahead and just only focus on that as hard as I can, that's generally how I play a competitive game.
Yeah, usually like when I was going into games, I would definitely try and be in a good mindset going in. Like you want to be happy like when you go into a set, because if everyone's down, that kind of gets contagious, and then usually like your play suffers a bit. Like I've had that happen just on stream where I'm like, I'm not really feeling it today, and it's like, well, try and make yourself happy somehow, like before you go into tournament games, and that usually helps. Like of course, don't just be all like happy-go-lucky, but just being in that mindset helps a little bit. And then yeah, it's really just like focusing on every single hit. Like don't worry about too much in the future, like or the past. Just kind of what you have to do like in this moment, and just adapt.
You definitely when like the difference between like a matchmaking and tournament game, you really are focusing a ton on decision making in a tournament setting. And one thing that I had to work on particularly when I first started playing, I yelled at Pancake all the time
with a knife too. So.
Like, Pancake, you're making me so mad. And that's not what you want to do. Like you really, when you're going in, like it's so easy to be critical of your teammates when they mess up, but you've got to, like, for me, a lot of times I have to say, like, even if I want to say something, let's keep it positive and let's focus on what we can control and what we're going to be doing moving forward, and don't focus on things that went wrong in the game at any point.
Yeah,
unless you're making
huge.
Yeah. And on that, we are out of questions. So I just want to say one more thing before we leave. Like the support you guys have been showing for this DFH locker room test that me and James have been doing has been awesome. Bro, I want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course, like we appreciate it for sure. We'll try and probably get a guest each week, I would think, but no promises. Wait, there we go.
I'm trying to high five Kronovi.
No, we're doing an Eiffel Tower.
I can't see.
Eiffel
can't
Tower.
see.
Oh, you can't see me. I forgot.
Which side is it? All right, on 3.
There you
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Close enough. Yes.
It's better than the
Leaving me
wrong
out.
side. Like,
Just
at the
leaving me
beginning.
out, guys.
Sorry, Gibbs. We can't see your webcam, man.
I
Only
know.
the beautiful Twitch chat can see you.
Oh, I'm in the middle. I can do like this and get both of you.
That makes it easy, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so I just want to say that I'm going to look into SoundCloud this week, guys. Try and get them up. Try and get a podcast going of these. I might intertwine my interviews into the podcast feed since it's kind of like the same related stuff. But yeah, I should have another player interview going up from Geno Cop maybe later on in the week. And James is starting the party already, the end-in stream party. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you for DFH 4.
Bunny hop, man.
Goodbye. He's bunny hopping out there. I don't know what he's doing. Freaking James, swear to God.
And that's